All right, welcome back to Watermelon TV and the Blue Room Project, your source for exploring hidden truths and uncovering the mysteries that shape our world. I'm your host, Meadow Seneb Seki Upesh, and today we're going to dive into a topic that weaves together power, control, and the UFO UAP phenomena. Buckle up because this is going to challenge the way you see the world around you. So, what's the big deal about the Imperial gaze? And how does it connect to the alleged deep state agenda surrounding UFOs and UAPs? Let's break it down. The concept of the Imperial gaze comes from the critical theory. It describes the way dominant powers frame and control the narrative about other cultures, people, and the rest of the world as something to be classified, controlled, and exploited. But what if this Imperial gaze isn't just about earthly territories? What if it's been extended to something far more cosmic? Yes, I'm talking about the UFO and the UAP phenomena. So what's the big deal about the Imperial gaze? And how does it connect to the alleged deep state agenda surrounding UFOs and UAPs? The concept of the Imperial gaze comes from the critical theory. It describes the way dominant powers frame and control the narrative about other cultures, people, or phenomena. Historically, it's been about colonization, how empires looked at the rest of the world as something to be classified, controlled, or exploited. But what if the Imperial gaze isn't just about earthly territories? What if it's been extended to something far more cosmic? Yes, I'm talking about UFOs and UAP phenomena. Over the past few years, we've been seeing a sudden shift in how UFOs and UAPs are discussed. Once regulated to the fringe, these topics have burst into mainstream consciousness. Government officials, intelligence agencies, and even the military are now releasing footage and statements that seem carefully designed to push a particular narrative. But what is that narrative? And more importantly, who benefits from the narrative? Let's consider the idea that the deep state, a shadowy network of powerful individuals and organizations, is using the Imperial gaze to prepare humanity for the arrival of a UFO mothership. Sounds wild, right? But hear me out. First, we need to understand that control is at the heart of the Imperial gaze. By framing the UFO UAP phenomena in a way that emphasizes fear, awe, and dependency on authority, the deep state ensures that the masses look to them for answers. The release of grainy military videos showing mysterious craft, the use of language like threat assessment, and the secrecy surrounding these investigations, it all adds up to carefully constructed narrative. Now, what if this narrative is being weaponized to introduce a new kind of power dynamic? The deep state might be using the UFO UAP story to create a global unifying crisis. A mothership, or the mere suggestion of one, could serve as the ultimate other that demands our collective attention and obedience. But why a mothership? The imagery of a massive, imposing craft hovering in our skies is straight out of Hollywood. It's something that taps into our deepest fears and curiosities. And let's not forget the imperial undertone here. A mothership implies a hierarchy. It's the ultimate authority, the top of the chain of command. By forcing our gaze into the skies, the deep state might be distracting us from real power plays happening right around you on Earth. Here's where it gets even more interesting. The Imperial gaze doesn't just shape how we perceive UFOs, it's shaping how we're meant to respond. Think about it. Why are so many of these disclosures coming from military and intelligence agencies? These are the same institutions that have historically marginalized Black people, used the Imperial gaze to maintain control. These are the same institutions that have historically used the Imperial gaze to maintain control. Now, are we really to believe that they're now our benevolent truth tellers? Some theories suggest that the deep state is priming us for a false flag event, a staged alien encounter designed to consolidate power on a global scale. The Imperial gauge here isn't just observing, it's about shaping reality itself by controlling what we see and how we interpret it. The deep state could engineer a scenario where humanity willingly gives up its freedoms in exchange for protection from an extraterrestrial threat. But there's another layer to this, the psychological impact.
The Imperial gauge
Creates a sense of helplessness and dependency. If a mothership were to appear, how will we react? Will we question the narrative, or will we fall in line, trusting the authorities to guide us? The deep state's greatest weapon isn't just technology or information, it's our own conditioned response. So, what can we do? First, we must reclaim our gaze. Refuse to let the narrative be dictated by those who seek to control it. Question everything. The footage, the reporters, the so-called experts. Second, remember that the truth is more complex than it seems. The Imperial gauge simplifies the world in two binaries, us versus them, good versus evil, terrestrial versus extraterrestrial. But reality is rarely that neat. And finally, stay informed. Knowledge is power. And the more we understand about the forces shaping these narratives, the better equipped we'll be to resist manipulation. All right, that's all for today's episode of Watermelon TV and the Blue Room Project. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the hidden layers of power and perception. If you find this discussion thought-provoking, be sure to subscribe and share it with others who are ready to question the narrative. Until next time, stay galactic.